So sick and tired of hearing about privilege. Privilege isn't being white, bonehead. Privilege is living in government housing and calling people oppressors while they pay your bills. Get it? I'm done pretending that any of this bull makes sense. You want to talk about privilege? You want to talk about real privilege? Real privilege is wearing $200 sneakers when you haven't worked a day in your life. Privilege is walking around with $300 Beats headphones while you're living on food stamps, while you're on public assistance, and it's paid for by people who wake up and grind every day. Privilege is having the latest smartphone with unlimited data and having zero idea where the bill goes because somebody else is always picking up the tab. Privilege is being able to protest every little thing that offends you without worrying about calling in sick to work because you don't have a job. Privilege is being able to cheat, lie, fail over and over again in life and still get bailed out while people who play by the rules get punished. That's privilege. This isn't about race. This isn't about class. This is about accountability. This is about accountability. This is about accountability.
Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruach Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Psalm 73 and 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. All right, because you Edomites have not been plagued in this place like the Israelites have. All right, of course we know that we under the curses of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, from Deuteronomy 28 and 15 to 68. All right, we under the curses. And these Edomites, they act like, Jake is just lazy and Jake don't want to work hard and Jake want to just live off welfare and all this government assistance. Which, if you really do the numbers or know the numbers, you Edomites is on the same thing. This is why they are so proud. As this man gets in front of a camera and says, Jake is, you got $200 shoes, you got, headphones, But this place is against us. Esau has written things into legislation against us. You had, what's his name? The COINTELPRO guy, pardon me, I can't remember his name, who said we have to stop the rise of a black messiah. Which there is no black messiah amongst the people. Yahweh Shai is the messiah. But these are the type of things that are put in play against us. So these people try to make it seem as though the Israelites are just, lazy and they just want to live off the government. But as I'm going to get to, even when Jake was thriving financially, y'all came and destroyed it. And to me, it was spiritual that he said y'all got, shoes and clothes and headphones and, all the things that he mentioned. You don't have to pay your phone bill. They just don't want to see Jake having nothing. All right. Psalm 73:5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. This is just a prideful statement from this man. I have to work all hard and what's free labor? As I speak on the Southern Kingdom, you so-called Negroes, we built this whole place for free. But now we lazy and it's just a bunch of niggas living off the government. The foundation of this country is the free labor that you got from the Israelites. It says their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than the heart can wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. Or speaking loftily is speaking from an exalted place. And this is what this man in this video that I, the clip or whatever I put up is doing. They speak wickedly concerning oppression. Like all we have to do is find a way to live the American dream, and no. And like they say in the world, y'all had a 400-year head start. Don't you know it was illegal for Jake to even read at one point? What you think soon as Jake, as I speak on the hardcore bondage, soon as Jake got out of hardcore slavery, we just went and went on Indeed and got a job? Yeah. Y'all fixed the game. And Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he's the curses that we under, that Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he put us under. He said that y'all would be the head and we would be the tail. He said that we would go to y'all for the one of all things. It's a part of our punishment. But once again, Esau not taking accountability. You act like the game been fixed against you. Jake has made plays in this place. And of course, it got destroyed by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua because we're not here to thrive. We're not here to be prosperous. This is a punishment. But even with that being said, Jake has made plays, to thrive in this place. Lake Lanier, Black Wall Street, Rosewood. These are examples of Jake because we smarter than y'all. These are examples of Jake, starting to, I guess what you would say, thrive and try to prosper in this place. And y'all destroyed it. So if you're so worried about so-called black people and so-called Latinos and Native Americans, as I really speaking on the Southern Kingdom, the Negroes, being prosperous and not dependent on you, why would you destroy everything that we've done to do so? From your perspective, we know it's Spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, but from your perspective, why would y'all destroy everything that we've done to damn make a way? Anytime Jake is bubbling and trying to figure things out on our own as it pertains to being in this country, your country, y'all find a way to destroy it. But simultaneously, you say we just ain't shit and we depending on you. And Anton Daniels, you just a wicked coon nigga, man. Because, of course, as I've said in previous videos, he just agrees with everything Esau says. For some reason, what do you want to call it? Black Republicans, which if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you're an idiot because this place not for you. But this guy just always agrees with everything Esau says, man. So I'm going to get into a couple examples of Jake trying to do things without you and you throwing a monkey wrench in it, as they say. You destroying it. And this is an article, that I found online about Lake Lanier. We're going to start there. In too many parts of the U.S., we preserve the ugly stains of this country's racism while eliminating memories of the thriving black communities that once stood strong. The thriving black communities. Black towns like Rosewood, Florida, and neighborhoods like Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, were a testament to the strength, innovation, and independence of their residents. These residents being what you know is so-called black people. The independence of it, not depending on the government. No welfare, no, food stamp, Section 8, all that. No, none of that. It says, until they were destroyed by white mobs. So you would think these people, this guy that I perceive to be an Edomite, barring he's an Israelite foreigner, you would think that, when we were thriving in this place financially with businesses, they would let it be or invest in it. Lake Lanier is a chilling reminder of anti-black violence that is still claiming black lives today. The lake story began more than 100 years ago in September 1912. A white 18-year-old named May Crow was found injured after being assaulted in the woods less than a mile from her family's home. Now, this woman is said to be assaulted in the woods. Okay. But keep in mind that the woman that accused Emmett Till of whistling at her or whatever she said he did waited till she was on her deathbed to admit that she lied. So some people from the outside looking in may say, well, a crime happened and this is why, what proceeded to happen took place. But keep in mind, man, these Edomite women was lying on Jake, man. As I bring up the example of the accuser of Emmett Till. She lied. She said she lied. Shit, I ain't lying. I seen it like the world seen it. She later died from the wounds. Despite the absence of witnesses or evidence, which is something that is needed in a court of law, correct? If I'm tripping, put it in the comment section. In your court, Esau, witnesses and evidence are usually needed to convict somebody. Not this time, though. A 24-year-old black man, Rob Edwards, was arrested. Edwards was then taken from the county jail by a mob of white residents, brutally beaten with crowbars, shot repeatedly, and dragged to the town square where his mutilated body was lynched. Additionally, Edwards' wife, Jane Daniel, their neighbor Ed Collins, Jane's cousin Oscar Daniel, and Oscar Daniel's cousin Ernest Knox were arrested. Knox and Oscar Daniel, both teens, were convicted by all-white juries before being hung in front of about 5,000 spectators. In the aftermath of those brutal killings, during September and October 1912, mobs of white people set fire to local black churches and black-owned businesses. Well, wait a minute. Let's say this man, which I would say I'm damn near 100% sure that this Edomite woman lied. But let's say this man did do this. What does the black businesses in churches, even though ain't no truth in them churches, what did they have to do with the crime? This was used as an excuse to destroy independent black businesses where Israelites didn't have to depend on Esau. Same thing that you're complaining about now, today. They set fire to local black churches and black-owned businesses. They forced all of the black residents out of the county. So an independent town full of black businesses, you destroyed it. Which I've heard this rhetoric from you Edomites before. All they do is just depend on us. They welfare, food stamps, and Section 8. What are you talking about? If I myself assault a woman and they come get me and I'm convicted of this crime, they're not going to destroy the whole city. I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to get persecuted. But this was an excuse, as I'm going to get into other examples as well. This was an excuse just for you to destroy a thriving so-called black community. But as we sit here today, all black people want to do is depend on you, huh? Going back to the point I've made in previous videos, I feel like every time I see an Anton Daniels video, I say the same thing. From Cain to Esau to you Edomites today, you don't take accountability for what you do. And when the fruits of your actions are brought forth, you bitch and complain. Rosewood, Florida. On the first day of 1923, white vigilante mobs began their descent upon the predominantly black community of Rosewood, Florida. In an attack that would last several days, they shoot and beat black residents, set buildings aflame, and razed the small but prosperous mill town that was home to approximately 200 people. So this was a prosperous town financially, where they didn't have to depend on, the quote unquote system that you people destroyed. Earlier that day, Fannie Taylor, a white resident of Summer, a nearby North Florida town, had been heard screaming in her home. When a neighbor arrived, Taylor, visibly beaten, claimed that a black man had assaulted her. And we know the history of you Edomite woman, blaming shit on Jake, man. They reported the alleged attack to the sheriff, and James Taylor, Fannie's husband, gathered a white mob to search for a black man who might be his wife's assailant. According to the official 1993 Florida State report on the incident, some from the local community recounted that a white man, possibly a lover, was seen visiting Fannie Taylor that morning. Some speculate that he may have been the one who assaulted her and that she fabricated the story of a black assailant to hide her affair. Yeah, that sounds about right. The sheriff's office, without evidence, had already chosen a suspect, Jesse Hunter, a black prisoner who had recently escaped a chain gang. Under the guise of finding Hunter, white mob staged a multi-day attack on Rosewood. They torched all the town's homes and churches, shot at residents, fleeing the blazes, held firefights with the residents defending their homes, and lynched several men they accused of harboring Hunter. Many Rosewood residents fled in terror, often just in their nightclothes, to nearby swamps to hide from the mobs. While some estimates have ranged higher, the official death count included at least 6 black residents and 2 white attackers. As news of what was occurring in Rosewood spread, falsely casting the town's black residents as instigators, more white men joined the violent mobs, including the Ku Klux Klan members. Some black residents were able to escape via trains to Gainesville. And Rosewood, Florida was a what you call a prosperous town, financially independent, not depending on, the government. So once again, every time Jake, as I speak on the so-called Negroes at this point, has tried to establish their own thing and not depend on you, you destroyed it. The story of the Rosewood Massacre was largely ignored until 1982, when a St. Petersburg Times reporter wrote a series of articles about its history. This led the town's remaining survivors in their old age to demand restitution from the state. In 1994, the Florida State Legislature passed a bill that allotted the 9 living survivors $150,000 each, with significantly smaller sums to descendant families, just half of whom received more than $2,000. But it don't matter if they got no money. You destroyed the foundation of it. As you continue to ask why so-called Negroes, once again, as I speak on the Southern Kingdom, because you've been wicked to the Northern Kingdom as well, are dependent on you. This is why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, who you call God and Jesus Christ, hate your ass. You wicked as all hell. You Edomites set the fire and then get upset that it's ablaze. In all things. Black Wall Street. The entrepreneurial spirit and success of the Williams family embodies the character of Black Wall Street's thriving, independent community. Like many other Black individuals and families, John and Lola Williams moved to Tulsa not only to escape racism, but to live where their business ventures and enterprises could prosper. This was a thriving community financially. Segregation made Black Wall Street's insular economy a necessity. This necessity, however, coupled with division among Greenwood's residents to create a self-sufficient district, made Black Wall Street one of the most successful and affluent Black communities in U.S. history. So you're talking about a damn Black people depending on the government. Well, this is the third example. Of when Jake was independent. Let's see what happened. Let's see what you did. The 1921 Tulsa Massacre. In 1921, one of the nation's worst race massacres destroyed the lives and livelihoods of hundreds of Black Tulsans. The tragic event took countless homes and businesses and led to the destruction of one of the largest, most affluent, and prosperous Black communities in America. So you would think somebody that's talking about so-called Blacks depending on the government would know this history. And Yahweh Shemi Awashai, he wasn't going to let this happen anyway, because once again, we not here to prosper. This is a punishment. But just from your POV, every time we tried to do it, you destroyed it. This nigga talking about shoes and headphones. Tulsa, Oklahoma was booming to the point they had damn near their own economy. During the immediate post-war years, Tulsa, a city with a noteworthy reputation for lawlessness, lynching, and racial violence, became a tinderbox as a result of post-war social and economic dislocation. Rising racial tensions, which racial tensions back in that day was just Edomites being mad and attacking Jake. Fueled by white newspaper sensationalism, the same way that y'all doing your media now, the same way you manipulate and deceive now. Fueled by white newspaper sensationalism and threats of an attempted lynching, resulted in an explosion of devastating violence that left some 35 to 40 square blocks of Greenwood's residential area in smoking ruins. Y'all burnt the town down. Y'all burnt it down. So what is this independence that you're begging for now? What is it? Nigga. And nearly 9,000 African Americans homeless. Virtually every structure in the Greenwood Commercial District was destroyed, and property damage was estimated at nearly 1.5 million. We talking about back in the day. $1.5 million? But these are the same people saying, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and make it in America. We did. Nigga. Although the exact number of riot-related casualties is difficult to determine because they don't want to put it up. It ain't difficult to determine. You know how many bodies dropped. Records indicate that more than 700 persons were injured and estimates death ranged between 36 and 300. So if these people really wanted, these Edomites, the people that Yahweh Hashem Shai, who you call God and Jesus Christ, has indignation, which is righteous anger against forever. The people that he hate. If you really wanted so-called blacks, so-called Latinos and natives to thrive, you would have fell back and let us thrive. Not destroy everything that we have built in this country. So stop with your bunch of bullshit, man. And once again, Anton Daniels and all you weird ass niggas, aligning yourself with them is just gonna get you thrust through. Anybody who is joined with them shall be thrust through. But I ain't gonna hold you. Hope that video was edifying. Shalom.